If you're still spending hours digging through spreadsheets or writing custom outreach from scratch, you're doing it the hard way. In this episode, I'm sharing the AI strategies that I use to save time and actually increase affiliate performance. These are literally the tools that I wish I'd had 10 years ago. If you're ready to take your affiliate program and your business to the next level, well, you're in the right place. I'm Matt McWilliams, best-selling author and 4-time Affiliate Manager of the Year, and I've built dozens of affiliate programs from the ground up to over $1 million a month. I'm here to show you how you can do it too. Let's get started. So, welcome to the second episode in this series of who knows how many episodes on how to use AI in affiliate marketing. I mentioned in the last episode, I don't know, we might have 2, 3, 4. I can guarantee you we're going to have 4 now. That much I know after doing the last episode and kind of looking at my outline for this series. We're going to talk about today the last episode today and the next 1 or 2, we're going to talk about how to use AI as an affiliate manager. And today I'm going to share another 5 to 10 ways that I use AI nearly every single day to run affiliate programs. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I have tested, I have refined, I would not say I have perfected by any stretch, but I've really dialed these in. Every single one of these things that I'm sharing inside of real affiliate programs, multiple affiliate programs. So this is not theory, this is real stuff. Now, before we jump in, if you want the specific prompts or you just need help implementing any of these, you can shoot me a text at 260-217-4619. I'd love to help you there. So what are some more ways to use AI to save a bunch of time and make myself and ultimately you a much, much better affiliate manager? Now, in the last episode, I talked about, how many did I share? I think 8 maybe? I think I shared 8. I talked about creating swipe copy that actually converts and how you can save time and give affiliates better tools to succeed. I talked about building graphics without a design team, how we create graphics for affiliates using AI image tools. I talked about predicting and addressing objections using AI to simulate affiliate pushback and ask the question like, why wouldn't somebody promote this? What questions would affiliates have about this? I talked about building better affiliate training tools and turning like long blog posts and videos and webinars into cheat sheets and checklists. Talked about repurposing affiliate calls, uploading the transcript of calls you do to give them specific action items or turn it into swipe copy and things like that. Talked about staying on brand, matching your voice to a client's voice if you're representing clients. So that affiliate communications are on brand. It's really important if you have affiliate programs where there's a lot of customers as affiliates. Talked about creating, affiliate emails. And I mentioned I'm building a tool for this. So if you're interested in using it, you can text me at 260-217-4619 or email me at matt@mattmcwilliams.com if you want early access to that. It's just basically it'll help you craft affiliate emails in a matter of seconds. And I talked about building, automated onboarding sequences. Now, after this series of however many episodes, I'm going to do a series on how to use AI as an affiliate marketer. But first, today, like I said, I've got some more ways to use AI. And how many, I guess we'll find out together. So I'm kind of setting a timer for these episodes, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 minutes, 27, 35 minutes, depending upon where I'm at. And we'll see how many we get through today. And then whatever we don't get through today, we'll do in the next episode. So I had planned on doing like 12 per episode. Last time I got through 8. So it's probably going to be around that number this time. And these are the kind of things that take forever if you do them manually. But AI handles them so fast and most of the time better. And sometimes I got a question after the last one that asked, well, what if it doesn't do as good of a job? And here's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't. There are certain things that I would do better if I spent the time. But what takes me 2.5 hours to do, and I would give it a 100 out of 100. Actually, I'd give it a 95 out of 95, or out of 100. 95 out of 100. If I did it and took 2.5 hours, in 5 minutes, I can get a 92. And I have to ask myself, gosh, is saving 2.5 hours worth losing 3 points? Absolutely. 100% it is. Now, is it worth doing it at an 80? No. And, maybe there's a middle ground where instead of spending 2.5 hours, I can spend an hour because I use AI and I can still get a 95. But I would say 60 to 70% of the time, it's better than what I would do. So I get the time savings and the improvement. And as I mentioned in the last episode, it saves me 20 hours a week now. That's half of a work week that it saves me. And I am getting marginally better results. But there are also some things that I can't do manually. And we'll talk about that today. That like I can't do them because I'm not going to spend the 15 hours to do it. So again, if you want the prompts, any templates, things like that, tool recommendations, I'm not really talking a lot about tools today. You can text me at 260-217-4619. As I mentioned in the last episode, I use a bunch of different AIs. I've to date, I've probably used like 8 or 9, and there's a couple I can't even remember that I've used. But as of right now, like today, the day that I am recording this, just today, I have used Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini as far as specific AI tools. Now, I've used multiple GPTs within ChatGPT. I've used a couple of different settings in Grok. I used Gemini. I used one of the deep research ones for a specific thing. And Claude, I only use that one like 5 to 10 minutes today, but a lot of days I use it over an hour. And I'm using it for all kinds of things. In fact, I'm just going to share one thing that I'm using it for that's not related to affiliate management, because if you're not really into AI, you may not wrap your head around these things. Very simple thing. Mother's Day was recently, as I'm recording this. And my mother-in-law, we take her to lunch, and she really wanted bruschetta. Now, I don't know which restaurants have bruschetta. Nobody knows. Nobody had a recommendation. And yeah, you can look up bruschetta on Google and go through a bunch of things. Instead, I asked Grok, and I used the deep research. So it took 90 seconds to run this because it's analyzing everything. I said, give me a list of the top 5 rated restaurants in Fort Wayne, Indiana that have bruschetta on their menu. And it did. And we were able to pick one, and we went there, and she loved it. And it was amazing. It was amazing bruschetta. I have another one that I've got that's helping me identify basically what to eat. And, in the past 3 weeks, I've lost 13 pounds, and I literally have no problems. I feel so good. And it's because I'm using ChatGPT in this case. I trained it as a health coach, and I basically every day I track what I eat and I give it to it, and it identified. In fact, one of my favorite foods is peanuts. You know what? I can't eat them. I just can't eat peanuts because we identified that as one of the problem foods. And so those are just 2 examples of things outside of affiliate management, of course. Like there's so many ways you can use it that are absolutely amazing. Not just creating images and creating email copy. Those are great, but these are the types of things that are going to truly change the world. I've got a chat for each of my kids where I track things like their height, their weight, what foods they're eating, how they're feeling, what they're, any medical problems, injuries, things like that. And one of the things that I learned was, I think I might be getting this a little bit wrong, but when your child is of a certain age period, one of the things that you want to look at is a decrease in growth. Like if their height suddenly stalls, that's an early warning sign of a brain tumor. And again, I might be off on this. I can't remember exactly without going back and looking at the chat history. But it's something that AI can detect so far in advance of human doctors. So I have the chat that's like, I'm just letting it know, kind of like, here's what's going on with my kids. And if you see anything, let me know. Here's what my kids are eating. Here's how they're feeling. Here's how they report their digestion, things like that. I mean, this thing, like on me, it's so dialed in. It was like, here are the foods here are the foods you've eaten that you should not be eating. So anyway, it's really cool. You should be using it. It's not the future. It's the right now if you're not using it right now. All right, let's get back into the affiliate management realm because I could nerd out about that for the next 20 hours. This would be a very long episode about nothing affiliate manager related. But let's talk about affiliate management. The number, I don't know how many I shared last time, 8, I think. So I'm just going to say number one. Number one today, generating contest ideas and prizes. This has been one of the coolest ways that I've used it. Now, it helped, I will tell you this, it helped that I was able to load in, took me about 15 to 20 minutes, I was able to load in a database of everything we've ever done in terms of prizes, in terms of contests, all the emails we sent. That helps, but it can pull from the internet. And so I will tell you that not training it, you're going to get only marginally worse results. And the thing is, if you give it a prompt like suggest contest prizes for a low budget campaign with high engagement goals, give me 5 creative contest themes for this launch that we're doing, that here's the types of affiliates, here's what the launch is, blah, blah, blah. And if you tell it to give you 5, 10, 15, 20 ideas, even if you don't have the database that I had from doing this for 20 years, you're going to eventually get a couple of really good ideas out of those 20. So when I do it, it's pulling from our history, but also from the internet. And so, yeah, mine is marginally better, but honestly, really all it means is because I've loaded this and I've told it what works and what doesn't. All it really means is that I only have to sort through 15 to get 2 really good ones, and you'll have to sort through 25. I mean, it's saving me 3 minutes per week because I trained it. So you can do this to come up with ideas for contest ideas, come up with ideas for prizes and tiers and things like that. Tiers meaning TIERS, just to be clear, different prize tiers and breakdowns and what's going to, and then keep letting it know. Over time, it will get better and better. I had that database to pull from, but I'm still training it and saying, okay, you suggested these 15 things. I chose these 2, and here are the results. Boom. It's 0.1% better immediately. And then the next time, you suggested these 15 ideas, and I chose these 3, and here's how this one worked, and this one worked, and this one worked, the results. And so it gets 0.2% better. And sure enough, after 3 contests, it's 0.5% to 1% better. And it continues to get better and better each time. Just like if you train it on what subject lines had the better open rates, which emails converted better, which images got more likes, what, when we do our social media stuff with AI, for our own stuff, we tell it like, here are the results. Here are the results from last week. Here are my most liked posts. Here are my most commented on posts. Here are the most shared posts. And we wrote an algorithm based on we made it up. We actually, we used AI to kind of say like, hey, what would be an algorithm you would do for effective, what social media posts are the most effective? And it was like, likes weighted a certain way, so it's like something like the formula is something like, L plus 2C. So it's like comments plus, 4S, which is shares, equals the score. And we just tell it, like we just feed the data. So it's learning. Okay. He had 100 social media posts last week, and here are the 5 that actually resonated with people. So when you generate this week, what will happen is instead of only generating 5 out of 100, it'll generate 6 out of 100 like that. And then we'll tell it, here are the ones that did it. And then the next week it'll generate 7. And now it's gotten to the point where like our content's kind of resonating a little bit more because it's learning. So again, you can train it. That's one of the keys. Speaking of social media, the second thing is writing social media posts for affiliates in a matter of seconds. So let me walk you through how we do that. I'm going to walk you through step by step how we do this. This is a process we have refined over the course of about 1.5 years. If I walked you through all the steps we used and all the mistakes we made 1.5 years ago up until about 6 months ago, you would start laughing because it took us a while to get this right. And you go, okay, well, was that even worth it? Well, first of all, yes, because it still saved us hundreds of hours and got much better results, even with the heartaches. And B, I'm about to give you kind of the finalized version. I'm sure we'll refine it a little bit more, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of the finalized version. And so you don't have to make all those mistakes. So I'm gonna take Instagram, for example. Now this would work for X, it would work for Facebook, etc. I'm gonna take Instagram, for example. What we will do is we'll start a new chat. In this case, we use ChatGPT for Instagram and Facebook, but we use Grok for X because they're intertwined and Grok has access to the data. So we found that we get much better um, content for X when we use Grok. Makes sense, of course, right? So let's say for Instagram, I'm going to start a new chat in GPT, and I'm going to tell it. So I'm kind of making this part up, but we're basically going to say we have a copy paste one, but I don't have it handy right now. So we'll say something like, I've got a client. Again, you can say whatever you want there for your own stuff, for a client, for your business, whatever. I've got a client named such and such, and here's a lot about them. And I'm going to copy, I'm going to say, like, here's some stuff from their about page. Now it's gotten to the point where you can just say, go to this website and pull everything about them. And it does. So I'm gonna tell it as much about the client as possible. Things that it might not even find on their website, like who's the audience and things like that. And I'm gonna tell them that I want to create sample social media posts for our affiliates. And then I'm going to tell them about our affiliates. Now, if the affiliates are rather homogenous, like one of our clients that I'm thinking of right now, 99% female and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to say, here's about our affiliates. Now, if they're a hodgepodge, then tell them that. Maybe you need to create different versions of this social media swipe copy. So I'm going to tell them about the affiliates. And I'm going to say, what I'd like to do first is I would like to provide 20 to 30, 20 to 40, 18 to 27, the number doesn't matter, but usually about 20 to 30 example profiles. And I provide the profiles I go find the top Instagram profiles out of our top 50 to 60 affiliates. So we have some affiliates that are in the top 50 or 60 that don't really even use Instagram. And so we don't want to, their profiles got like 2,000 followers. So we'll get the top 20 to 30 profiles. Sometimes I'll just say, here are the profiles. Can you order these by number of followers or number of engagements or whatever? And usually follower count is a pretty good proxy though, because you usually don't get, the difference between a follower count of 80,000 and 90,000 might not be content. The difference between a follower count of 27,000 and a 500,000, the 500,000 person has better content. There's no doubt about it. So we'll typically say, like, give us our top 20 to 30. And then we'll say, great, go look at their profiles and get their style. We'll specifically highlight any posts that have mentioned our client. And we'll copy and paste those. This whole process takes about 2 hours. It's pretty labor intensive on the front end, because I want to copy and paste some specific posts. We'll then take some of the posts from the client and we'll say, here's some more, and we'll then go through and say, here are some images that these affiliates have used and images that the clients used. And we'll load between 50 and 100 images and say, these are representative images that, that they like to use. We like to highlight how they promote other products as well, because that's relevant, the style and the tone that we're looking for there. So we'll train the chat on what we're looking for. Then we'll say, here's an upcoming promo. Please generate 3 social media posts or, Instagram posts for this promotion. And it does. And it creates images. Now we do a few other things. I talked about this before with creating images. We'll give it the logo and, any relevant product images, of course, but it creates all the stuff for us. And so it's one of those things that certainly compared to creating, that stuff on one time, to create that stuff one time takes about 45 minutes to an hour. we're probably more like 45 minutes. Well, to create it one time doing this takes almost 2.5 to 3 hours. But then the second time it takes 5 minutes. And the third time it takes 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. And so by the fifth or sixth time you've done it, you're in the black in terms of time. You're saving 45 minutes every promotion you do. And then we also ask it to create a monthly promo calendar for us based on and content calendar. So based on more evergreen ideas for things that they could talk about. On X, what we'll do is we'll actually have it generate a spreadsheet that they can download and upload into their social media scheduler, because most people on X are using some sort of a social media scheduler like Meet Edgar, and we'll give it a CSV file with like 200 posts that can go out one every 3 days, and they're more evergreen, and we'll have it do that. Again, we use Grok to do that because it's familiar with what works on X. And so we can give all kinds of different, we can say, hey, if your style is more this, here's one that's more funny, here's one that's more mission driven, etc. And it works. It absolutely works. So that's number 2 for today. All right, number 3 is piggybacking off of that. I mentioned creating those social media plans, but creating custom social media plans for top affiliates. So what we did there was we actually took one affiliate, same kind of idea, took one affiliate and said, here's this person's content and style. And then we ask AI, suggest a content calendar for the for whatever period of time. And this feels like VIP treatment, which generates VIP results for affiliates. And the results that we get are absolutely mind-blowing. So it knows that in May, there's Mother's Day. It knows in June, Father's Day. It knows in July, it's July 4th. It knows in August, it's back to school. It knows in September, you got Labor Day. It knows in October, it's Halloween, November, and so on and so forth. And it just creates this. I hand this Google Doc to the affiliates, and they're like, holy crap, this is unfreaking believable. And it's already in their style. And I'm going to pull one up here real quick, actually. This is just so cool. So it says, let me go to June. All right. So it's for one of our clients, Cannabolics. It says June. And I didn't edit this. This is just straight from AI. Now, this is for one specific affiliate who has a style that's a little bit edgier, and he's an MMA fighter. And so it's like, because, oh, by the way, I forgot to ask. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Make sure you ask it, do you have any questions for me? Before you ever get it to do anything, always ask it, do you have any questions for me? And then answer those questions. And then ask it, do you have any more questions for me? And usually after 1 or 2 times, it stops asking you questions in it, but it really dials it in. So to create this, and I'll share the results here in a second. Actually, I'll just go ahead and share the results since I was already doing that. Sorry, this is how my brain works sometimes. June, Father's Day, Tough Guys Recover 2. Product focus, daily grind relief pack. Feed post idea, theme, every dad I know has sore knees. Suggested caption, this is your annual reminder that Father's Day gifts don't have to suck. Daily grind equals morning fuel plus pain relief in one pack. If you've got a dad who trains or just limps, this hits. Prompt, tag a dad who needs this. Poll plus quick pan of the freeze gel. Real idea. So that was a story idea. The first one was a feed post idea, and this one's a real idea. Theme, what I actually want for Father's Day. Hook, show bad gifts, then Cannabolics, and then a satisfied nod. I mean, you can picture that. Bad gifts, Cannabolics, and the guy going, yeah, with a nod. That's what AI produced based on just analyzing his content and me giving it a little bit of instruction. I got this 12-month calendar for this guy in less than 20 minutes of actual work. I never could do that in a million. I couldn't do that. It would take me 5 hours to do that, and it would be half as good. So how did I get to that point? Just to go back, I said, here's what I want to do. And I created the prompt. Now I can just copy and paste it for the next affiliate. I said, here's what I want to do. I want to create this, this social media guide that gives promo tips and, suggested content for this affiliate. I'm going to give you his profile. And then I said, what questions do you have for me? And it responded back. Actually, I may have the chat pulled up on this one. I'm kind of curious if I do here. So one thing I was wrong about, I mentioned that I was using ChatGPT for this. I am not. Uh, we switched over to Grok for this. So I found we got much better results from Grok, even for analyzing and producing the Instagram stuff. So we actually used ChatGPT to analyze the promo calendar and give us like the basic brief. So for instance, for going back to Father's Day, it just said June, Father's Day, theme, dad's recovery matters too. Feed, hard hitting post about being a dad or honoring a mentor. Story, show your pre or post fight freeze gel routine with text overlay. That's what it generated for this MMA fighter. Then I took that, put it into Grok, and generated, the actual plan. But basically, what I said was, what question? When I said, here we go. Let's see. So I gave him the profile. And I said I'd like a Google Doc or something similar with an outline for him to post each month. What questions do you have for me to get started? It said, quick questions to guide the plan. Number 1, tone plus voice flexibility. Do you want the content to feel like him, gritty and intense, or should he occasionally shift to match Cannabolics' broader tone, which is a bit lighter, friendlier, and encouraging? Number 2, Cannabolics promo info. Will you be providing the exact promo deals each month, details each month, blah, blah, blah. Post format variety. Should I suggest just feed posts, or do you want a mix of real stories and carousel ideas? Are there any don'ts? For example, language to avoid, topics to steer clear of. You said no overuse of emojis or fire rocket and check mark. Anything else? Number 5, should I include suggested captions, or would you just prefer? So it asked me these questions, and then I answered those questions. And I said, any other questions for me? And it said, awesome, thanks for the clarity. This gives me exactly what I need to build a killer content calendar tailored for, and then his username. No more questions right now. You nailed the brief. I'll go build the doc and drop it here shortly. Hang tight. And then I got the guide. And so my point to sharing all of that detail is so you understand, like tell it to ask you any questions that it has. It really refines its thinking. All right. So we're close to 30 minutes. I think I'm going to share like one or two more. And then, hey, like I said, there's going to be a series. I'm going to talk about this some more. So number 4 for today is creating FAQ docs and welcome packets. So basically, goes back to what we talked about before with the onboarding. If you want to create an affiliate FAQ, to start with, ask feed it your affiliate sales page. Feed it information that you feel like affiliates should need, and then say, what questions do you have for me? And use that as a guide. Especially when you're starting your affiliate program. Then how you build your FAQ from there, frankly, is just you put on FAQs and answer them. Very simple. But this can really make sure that affiliates have all the information that they need on the front end, which is so important for getting them to sign up. Now, the last one I'm going to share for today for sure is analyzing affiliate data.
It's pronounced data.
This is number 5. So I'm going to walk you through how we do this. So basically what we've done, and actually I'm going to pull up, I just thought about this. I just wrote an entire thing to somebody recently, and so here we go. All right. I'm pretty much going to read what I wrote this person. So we use a combination of ChatGPT and Grok for this. I've found that Grok is a little bit better at analyzing data and finding kind of those like weird things. Basically, you tell it what you want to accomplish and report it to you. So here's what we did. We uploaded, this is for one particular client. I was describing how we did this for one client. We uploaded each of the previous 2 years worth of data. So we uploaded the full year before and the full year before that. And you can include anything you want, by the way. You can sales, commissions, traffic. What else can be? But basically, like I'll give it things like I'll have a column. I'm gonna pull one up that I have open from just before we were doing this. I was working on one. Okay, so I've got their affiliate ID, their first name, their last name, their full name, their email address. Now, those are all separate, like really all it needs is one of those. Or I guess it would need first and last name, not just their first name. But it really only needs, one of those in a sense to be accurate. But I have the spreadsheet anyway for a different purpose. And then it's got their traffic, their conversions, their sales amount, their commission amounts. Okay, that's for the full year. The one thing we were not able to get for the full year easily, like just click the download button and we have it, was what products they sold. But on the monthly report, we can do that. So then I uploaded the monthly report each month, January, February, March. That one had all that same data, but it also had each of the products that there's two separate reports. It had the general report for the month. That was that. And then I uploaded a list of all the orders. So now it knows that over the past 2 years, affiliate 123, Angela Smith, sold 972 of this thing. And again, I had a VA do all that. So now we've got all the data. Then if you're doing this in the middle of the year, we uploaded the first 5 months of this year. If I were doing this today, I would upload the first 4 months of this year, and then we go from there. Okay, so now it has all the data. It has all the data. If you wanted to, you could do it by day, but most programs aren't that nitty gritty. Probably not worth it. But if you know a program that just has like a huge Black Friday or a huge, it's huge around Halloween or whatever, upload it by day. It's fine. Again, it's just download, upload, download, upload, download, upload. It doesn't take that much time. You could create a Mechanical Turk or an iMacro for doing something like that. Probably take you 15 minutes to create that, and it'll just download and upload them for you. And yeah, it makes sense if you've got like a really nitty gritty program. So then you just upload it for any period of time. So for instance, we do it every Monday. Here's the data for last week, and I tell it to report back to us what to look for. And so we gave it. Typically, we give it about 7 or 8 data points to look for. So I want to know who's down week over week compared to the mean. So for instance, if everything is down, if the entire affiliate program is down 25% week over week, and that's normal for this period of time compared to last year and the year before, we don't need to freak out. But if we're down 25%, but these two affiliates are down 57%, and last year they were only down compared to the mean. Again, these are things we could never do without AI. So we tell it, like, here's how to look at this data and what to look for. So I'm looking for down affiliates. I'm looking for up affiliates. I'm looking for first-time sales. I'm looking for first-time sales since a period of time. I'm looking for people who are selling new products. It's first time sale of this product. It's the first time sale of that. I'm looking for people who maybe aren't down overall, but they're down on certain products. I'm looking for people who are down year over year, down month over month, all kind of data points we get. I think it's like 10 or 12 data points that we look at every week. And the reality is that in a given week, 7 of the 12 data points, there's nothing to report. Like, there's literally nothing to report. But then next week there is on one of them. And so might as well have it, like, usually it's just reporting back and be like, nothing found on this one. Cool. So what we did then was the first like 12 to 15 weeks, I would look at the data. I would tell it things that I noticed that it didn't, or maybe it reported something that was a little bit off, and I would tell it, and it got better and better and better. And so to start with, if you've never done it, if you've never done anything like this at all, you're going to have to kind of start from scratch. I actually uploaded reports that I had done on my own and my own analysis to train it. Now, I didn't have a ton of those because I usually didn't save them, but I had some where I was able to say, like, okay, here's the data that we reported to clients for this week, and I uploaded the corresponding spreadsheet, and so it started to learn what to look for and things like that. So anyway, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how that that works. And so that is something that you should definitely be doing. It doesn't take a long time to train it. You can look for all kinds of things like who's converting best and maybe who's sending a bunch of traffic but no sales and all these things. And then we talked about, I think we talked about it. Maybe I'm about to talk about it. I don't know. I can't remember what I've talked about. But then you combine this with like personalized nudges and it's actually started like suggesting ideas. So each week when it reports that data, I take 90 seconds maybe, and I say, here's how I use that data. So now it's starting to suggest things like, here's this affiliate and you should blank. So for instance, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, it said, hey, here's this affiliate. And it said, I believe that the best thing to do would be to get her or get to do, I think it was get her to do a specific campaign promoting this XYZ product, this specific planner. Would you like a suggested email to send to her and some swipe copy? And I was like, heck yeah. And it did it. And it's like, cool. That's that next level there. So all that said, I've got so much more to cover in this series. Again, the whole point there is about saving time and being able to do kind of like these deep analysis type things that you could just never do on your own. And then ultimately like creating those personalized promo plans. Like this is not automation for the sake of automation. This is deep strategy, but like I said last episode, it's putting a lot of it on autopilot. So as I mentioned before, if you want to see some of the prompts that I use or test out my AI affiliate finding tool, which I'm going to talk about in the next episode, you can text me at 260-217-4619. I would tell you, here's what I'm going to talk about in the next episode. I have no idea now because we only got like half the stuff I wanted to cover today, but I felt like this was pretty awesome. So hopefully you found good value in it. If you got whatever you got out of it, your biggest takeaway, I'd love to hear from you. Again, you can text me at 260-217-4619. Got links to everything we talked about in the show notes. And of course, make sure you hit subscribe because the next episode is going to be just as good, maybe even better than this one. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just know it's going to be good. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing this episode, make sure to share it with them. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Questions make my best episode, and it's a great way to get featured right here on the podcast. And if you're loving what you're hearing, please take a moment to leave a rating and review. That helps others find this content so we can all benefit from it. See you soon.